Yeah, it's kind of like mirror neurons, how somebody's crying that they've been harmed, and so you feel harmed even though you have no proof that they were harmed, and you have no proof that you were harmed either. But did you all see this? A couple days ago, Vice released this new video. It's called "Did Fox News Melt This Country's Brains?" I have no clue what it's on about, but it could be hype. So I guess we can take a look. It seems like the answer is absolutely yes.
All machines can be hacked and manipulated makes the issue of hacking become facts. If hacking can take place in...
hello? This guy's got bars? If machines can be hacked, then it's facts. Oh, man. What the... Whoa, jeez. The right is getting better at music and the left is scared?
In our elections, does my vote count? I don't think so.
More than 2 years after Donald Trump.
Also, does this guy think that like we live in like the watchdog world where like if you have any electronic, it could be like a watch or something with like a battery in it or like a microphone that you're holding that somebody can go beep boop 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 on their like phone, and then it'd be like I'm in. And then when you say "I love people smiling," it'll instead what people hear would be through the speaker will be like "I love cock," and then you'll be like, "No, I didn't say that. I don't like cock. No, please." And then I'm like, "Huh? What are you gonna do? Cry about it? Piss your pants maybe?" Beep, boop, 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 boop. And then you say the N-word. Fuck you.
Trump lost the 2020 presidential election, people around the country are still freaking out over the idea that voting machines can't be trusted.
When someone says, "Oh, just stick it in the machine and everything is perfect," we know it's not. Garbage in, garbage out. First thing we learn.
Anybody else trying to stick it in the machine?
We're in very rainy Shasta County, California. This is a red Trump voting part of.
What are you gonna do? Cry? Get on your knees, maybe?
This county actually just
bite my zipper,
recently
won't you?
to get rid of their Dominion voting machines.
The company at the center of all of this, Dominion Voting Systems, says there's a reason this happened. All the conspiracy theories about voting machines.
The county voted to terminate the contract with the Dominion Voting Systems. Did you agree with that?
Absolutely, I agree with that. 100%.
Why?
How am I supposed to trust any machine? They're constantly on the news saying Russia can hack our banks. Russia can hack our military. Why can't the only thing we don't talk about that can be hacked is the voting machines? Well, they can, and they were shown that they can be.
The decision.
No, they weren't. Also, how does hacking a voter machine, how does that work? What are you talking about? Like a calculator. My calculator got hacked. They hacked my calculator. Guys, help! My calculator's hacked, and now there's two of them. But when I click on one, it goes to the normal calculator, and then when I click on the other one, a 56-year-old man with a beer belly and a 3-inch cock keeps showing me pictures of his butthole. Please, something's happened. Help before my wife gets home. Please. China's tried to destroy my marriage.
To get rid of the Dominion contract was spearheaded by the chairman of the Shasta County Board of Supervisors, Patrick Jones.
I have questions about electronic voting machines. We're a small county, and I think we can return to hand counting. We have a serious trust issue. You know there's a serious trust issue throughout the United States on electronic voting machines. It exists.
Well, when you're hand counting, can't you just like not count some if you want to? Isn't hand counting even scarier because then you don't need to hack any machine, you just like commit a crime instead? It seems like committing a crime with your own two hands is better than beep, boop, bop, boop, bop, beep, bop, boop on the computer, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Some of Jones's suspicions are based on quotes from a Dominion employee that one of their machines in Michigan was hacked. It's a claim that Dominion says in court filings was mischaracterized and distorted by Fox News.
It sounds like this is your only sort of specific evidence that you have of Dominion.
I didn't say that.
Do you have other evidence of specific problems you have with Dominion's systems?
I specifically brought this forward with Dominion because that is the contract that we had. That is the contract.
Okay, so the answer is no. Good to know.
As an elected official, should you be able to present evidence, though, of why you're making decisions like that?
No, we have to approve a voting system.
So just somebody saying something online means that's the only evidence that you have? I didn't say that. Do you have to provide evidence? No. Average Republican brain working. You see this working overtime. The gears are grinding against each other. Shit hasn't had oil in it in 50 years.
For the residents of Shasta County, that's my job. And we're going to approve a system. And I would ask those companies to show me and prove to me that their systems cannot be hacked. So far, no one says they have to do that. So I'm not interested in your system if you're not.
What if you just don't connect them to the internet? And then you don't open a phishing email instead. Have you ever thought about that? Prove to me that you didn't fuck my wife. It's just like, what do you want them to do? Because they haven't been able to find. You can't just say something is happening when you've provided negative evidence to that happening. That's not how that works. There's no system. Yeah, like, I mean, there's no system that's unhackable. But I'm just like, what do you mean hacking a voter system? What does that mean? If you don't want somebody remotely to have access to it, then unplug the Ethernet cable. It's not like a hacker is swimming through the Ethernet cable and then hops into the machine and then starts like moving the numbers around or something. It really doesn't seem that hard.
Going to prove to me that you have enough securities in place to not be hacked.
A spokesperson for Dominion told Vice News in response to the termination of the contract that, quote, "This is yet another example of how lies about Dominion have damaged our company." And for some Shasta residents, these lies seem to come from one place.
If you owned a Lamborghini, right, and then Fox News told you can't trust your Lamborghini, would you trade your Lamborghini for a clown car?
That's actually a good fucking meme. I'm not gonna lie. And none of them answered. None of them will answer it because the answer is yes. I'm not going to lie to you. If listen, okay, I've seen what these people are doing. When Bud Light put Dylan Mulvaney, the conservatives' favorite woman, on their Bud Light cans, like hundreds of thousands of conservatives went running to their local gas station, bought like Bud Light, not even the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light. They just bought Bud Light and then just started to like dump it into their sink and then upload it and be like, haha, got him. Bud Light will never get $1 out of me, except for many dollars, except for the $16 I spent on this stunt that nobody cares about. You know some like weirdo conservatives out there like doing something unspeakable to that can with Dylan Mulvaney on it. You know what I'm saying? Some person who, if you check their like keyboard on their phone, like their favorite thing is like saying you're not a woman or something. You know, they're out there they empty that can and they start doing something unspeakable. And I will not speak.
Then why are you going to do that to our voting systems? Like, we have something good already. And the whole basis of we shouldn't even be discussing this right now. This is ridiculous. This is based off of disinformation from Fox News.
Dominion has sued Fox News and Fox Corporation, alleging they knowingly spread false information about the company's machines. Dominion says that by airing numerous false claims without pushback, Fox defamed them.
Our side does not believe your crap, which is why we're all here. You are making it so that our voting system is going to be worse. You don't switch from technology back to no technology.
The worry for Dominion is that Fox, along with others in the right-wing ecosystem like Rudy Giuliani and Mike Lindell, could help sow more seeds of doubt in their election machines, costing them more business. Dominion is concerned about its bottom line. And Kathy Darling Allen is worried about money too, specifically Shasta County's. Switching voting machines isn't cheap.
It's in the neighborhood of somewhere between $2 and $3 million. And that's a 10-year cost. So our goal is to have a contract in place for the life of the equipment.
I love all my tax money being spent on weirdo conspiracy theories.
Before 2020, neither she nor the voting process in Shasta County received much attention. But then the conspiracy started.
Why do you think there are people in this county who do not trust these voting systems?
I don't think there's a person in our country who hasn't heard something about whether or not we can trust the way votes are counted. I think it is extremely troubling, but this is turning into an American problem, not a Democrat problem or a Republican problem. We have a very serious foundational trust issue with elections administration. And the really hard part for those of us who conduct elections is that we didn't break trust with the voters. We didn't break
Fox
trust
did.
with
It's crazy.
the vendors.
Literally just
or
doing
the
your job
candidates.
right, and some weirdo online
Somebody decided to start lying,
wants to ruin your life.
and those lies caught fire. We are now being asked, how can you regain the trust of the voters? Well, I didn't break trust with the voters. So
I
it's
just
a
do my
little
job.
bit disingenuous of a conversation.
There's a lawsuit right now. Dominion Voting Systems is
I love because this has like been a big thing ever since the internet has really taken off. I think I don't know what to coin it, but I really want to like I feel it's different than just normal propaganda, or maybe it is, or maybe it's just like under propaganda. But I don't know. For me, it's an interesting phenomenon. It's more like internet induced trauma more than anything. Like specifically internet induced trauma, or like social media induced trauma, or like online induced trauma. It's more than like, sure, it's like conspiracy, I guess, but it's more like it's less of like this thing is happening, and it's more like it's happening to me, and like you're doing it. The way it's like terminally online, no, not necessarily. Like a big way that you see it is when it comes to these. I feel like specifically like the manosphere does it a lot in a way that I feel like is a bit different than a lot of other places do it, is where they'll like talk to you, like if you're like one of these like lonely guys who don't talk to a lot of women, they'll talk to you about all of these like bad things that women have done and everything. And I guess it's the same way when it comes to like any sort of a lot of like bigotry, where they tell you about all of these bad things that this group of people have done, even though they've never done anything bad to you, and you've never actually seen it happen in real life. And you don't also have any proof of it actually being as like spread, or necessarily even like as far reaching, or as like drastic, or even as real as you think that it actually is, but it feels real. And then it's not even like you take it to the people that you were talking about. It's to like an entirely different like person. I don't know. This could simply just be normal conspiracy, but to me, I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know necessarily how to explain it yet, how to articulate what I'm saying yet. I wanted to think about it at some point in time more to be able to talk about it, but yeah, it's like, it's crazy, like internet induced trauma that you give onto yourself. Like it happened to you when it happened to somebody else. It's kind of, you know, the idea of like when you see somebody get kicked in the balls, then your balls hurt. You know what I mean? I'm not for like Vaguba havers, for the girlies in chat. I don't know if you see like a chick get like a punch in the ovaries, and then you're like, oh, my egg baskets hurt or something. I don't know necessarily, but I'm not talking about simply feeling bad for them. I'm talking about you feel like you were hit, or like you feel sore or something. You see somebody get kicked in the balls and you feel it in your balls. Something like that. It's not just feeling bad for them. Mirror neurons? Maybe mirror trauma. I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to write like a whole paper on it or something, but I don't know, maybe like a segment on it sometime if I ever get the time or the chance. I feel like, I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about? Do you guys feel me? Do you think I'm onto something? Do you think I'm trying to cook, but I'm on an easy bake oven? I'm on a full oven? Okay. Let him cook? Okay. It's like how men with pregnant spouses gain weight too. Babe, look, I'm pregnant too. Baby. People experience physical empathy. Yeah, kind of like that. But when this type of stuff happens, I feel like they have no proof that it's happening. They have no proof really that it can happen, but they feel like it might, but they feel like even that it still is, and they feel like they've been wronged, even though they saw somebody else say that they might be. Yeah, it's kind of like mirror neurons, how somebody's crying that they've been harmed, and so you feel harmed, even though you have no proof that they were harmed, and you have no proof that you were harmed either, but you feel like it happened to you. Because they don't say like, we want to stop this from like happening ever again. They're like, we want this to, my bad. You don't go like, they did this. I can't believe they did this. We need to stop. Well, sorry. They're not like, they don't say things like, we need to like protect ourselves if something bad happens. They say, this happened. I know it happened, and we need to make sure it never happens again. But they have no proof of like any of that. So it's just like a, but anyways, I feel like you guys get me. Anyways, I don't know. This may be a segment sometime in the future. I'll have to get my thoughts straight on this. Typically I think a little bit more before I make like a full segment on something like that. But you know, you five me.
Suing Fox News for more than $1 billion. Do you see that as a turning point for accountability in this country around elections and trusting elections that are administered on voting machines?
It almost is like a new religion. Folks who believe that the 2020 election was stolen, regardless of proof or evidence that's presented to them. When I ask questions, I mean, they have an answer for everything, but that answer is never concrete. And there is never actual evidence that's presented because there is no actual evidence.
Do you think that there are people in this community that saw some of what was said on that television channel and maybe don't want to vote on these machines right here because of that?
It's entirely possible. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
We're a very conservative county and majority Republican. We do this work because we want to serve our neighbors.
Shared psychosis? That'd be funny. Shared psychosis. Contagious psychosis. Listen, they try and make up shit like rapid onset gender dysphoria. So honestly, I have no, if they want to make up shit like rapid onset gender dysphoria or some shit like that, you can't sit here and tell me that like shared psychosis is completely unreal. I heard it on Reddit.
And we want to serve our community, and we believe fundamentally in the importance of the work. And to be told after doing that, and after we work really hard.
Yo, can you imagine how absolutely disgusting your political ideology is, that you make some like somebody's grandma who only cares about like helping people exercise their like fundamental right to just cast votes cry because they're getting like death threats of something that never even happened before, as like all they do is like give a high five to kids that were dragged there and give everybody a little sticker? Goodness granny.
It's emotional for you to talk about this.
These people are all volunteers. They don't even get paid, right?
It's okay.
It's not. I don't like to do this.
The Secretary of State's office, and then the purple is...
To make things as transparent as possible, Allen's office staged an open house after the board terminated the Dominion contract so that residents could see for themselves the options for the 3 state-certified voting machine systems, Dominion included.
Were you surprised that the county voted to terminate that Dominion voting contract?
Wait a second. What's happening? They terminated a contract with Dominion, and then they could vote on another contract to have, but then they put Dominion as a choice again? What's the point of terminating the? What is this roundabout do the same exact thing, but for $20 million? I hate my life so much.
No, not at all. Not this county. No, they've been doing very extremist positions.
Shasta. I think I know Shasta.
Several months.
I've heard about
I think
that.
we're the laughing stock of a good portion of the country.
Dominion
Damn.
Voting Systems right now is suing Fox News. What do you make of that lawsuit?
I hope they take Fox News down for passing misinformation, disinformation. They have stirred up so much angst and antipathy and
This lady's based.
sore spirits amongst Americans. I think that's partly why I am supporting Dominion, because it's just upsetting to see what Fox News has been doing along these lines, just spreading lies.
We asked Fox News about Shasta's decision to terminate their Dominion contract and what they made of the allegations that Fox was behind the misinformation spreading through the county. They didn't really answer that part, but told us that the Dominion lawsuit was essentially trying to silence the press and is, quote, an unprecedented assault on the First Amendment.
I bet you think so.
As you're watching the Fox News lawsuit play out, they're proving that they more or less encouraged a false narrative, even though they knew it was true, that there wasn't major fraud.
What's happening in Shasta isn't simply a liberal versus conservative issue. Mary Rickard, a long-standing county supervisor and herself a Republican, voted to keep the Dominion machines. Is this a waste of money to be getting new voting systems?
It's an absolute waste of money. This is a very foolish decision. And I pointed out to them at a meeting, we were all elected by Dominion voting machines. So are you questioning the outcome of your own election? And I never got an answer.
The misinformation around voting in Shasta County has left a town paranoid.
Man, it's almost like when it benefits them, it's not really a problem.
Kathy Darling Allen are now the target of unfounded suspicions about how voting is handled.
Kathy Darling cannot be trusted, period.
This meme is very real.
She constantly just shows retaliation. If anybody questions her, what she's doing, what's going on in the building, and, she just does whatever she wants and starts doing things without even the board knowing.
It's hard to feel sorry for folks who are given correct information and who choose not to believe it. I spent a lot of time in 2021 saying into the microphone, if you're on social media and something you read makes you instantly angry, check yourself. That is your red flag that this is probably some kind of manipulative, maybe not completely accurate information.
That's actually a good idea. That is it's not perfect, but that's like some pretty good media literacy. Like if something instantly makes you mad the second you read it, you may want to take a step back and understand why it's actually making you mad. And if your anger is justified, and then read into it to see if your anger is actually justified after you take in more information from it from different sources. That's the best thing that you could possibly do. Honestly. So understand. Come here. Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.